Georgia Strait. Georgia Strait, sir. Vancouver Free Press.
Occasionally, Pellin has to get away from all the talk and worries and problems of 4th Avenue.
Georgia Strait, sir.
He goes downtown, alone, to indulge in one of his favorite recreations.
One, please. One over here.
In the 30s, he fled Winnipeg's North End for New York, where he graduated from Bernard McFadden's Physical Culture School. In the 40s, he ran a massage parlor in Vancouver. He went on to develop muscle activator units for elderly hospital patients. His methods were new and good. The medical profession adopted them, but not Dave. Dave was unqualified, and at that point, his life, his work, his home collapsed in disillusionment and despair.
We get hung up on all these reports that are superficial. We're going to be bogged down with the same thing that other organizations are bogged down. A lot of talk.
I brought up the idea of publishing an annual report or a newsletter. I've got suggestions. I'll read Carol's first because it's typewritten.
These are the people Dave started with. Most of them were written off by society as incorrigible, hapless, and inadequate. But Dave did not write them off. Instead, he activated them back to life. Now they have become the core of the unit, the initiated, the ones qualified to lead study groups and teach the activator philosophy. These are the ring holders. Their motto is, "Show me."
Lee, how's your group going?
Our group is going very well. David gave a very good talk the other night and kind of rejuvenated everybody.
I promised to help her whenever I could.
Wonderful. You know, you're going to architectural school. I wondered if you'd have a minute to breathe yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give up any of your time of study that you need for study. Get it, Mike? I don't want any slip back in your scholastics.
I get your point.
I don't give a damn what excuse you've got. You know, these meetings are at 2 o'clock, eh? Okay, I want to get this done in 3 minutes. Number one, those of you that go into corrections and work in the pen or in jail or at Haney, I want to clearly understood, you're doing this for your development and your development alone. The activators are not interested in going into correctional institutions. We are a preventative situation. We are not accessory after the fact. I'm not interested in numbers. I'm not interested in statistics. I'm not interested in this one single bit. I'm interested in the right people who need the right kind of a help, and the right kind of a help being what we have to offer. Any questions? Okay, let's have coffee.
We just signed the book, gentlemen, and who is it? What organization do you represent?
Activators. John Howard Society bring them in.
Right, sure. And if you just go around the front entrance and park and be sure the vehicle's all locked up, because you might want it when you come out here.
I came out with a chip on my shoulder, as they say. While I was here, I was tremendously hurt, and I can feel those referrals or those feelings coming back when I see it again. I'm terribly afraid of the place. I don't like it at all.
I've been in this institution twice. I was a repeater. I sort of had a grand delusion of, you know, being a big-time criminal, you know, and that sort of thing. I took a landscaping course, and I pretty well landscaped a great deal of this. You know, this is really what counts in life, is what you do. You know, what you say is only just so much, you know, bullshit. But what you do really counts, okay? You put forth an effort towards a goal. Well, the trick in life of actually getting somewhere is to change this effort, this rejected effort, into an accepted effort.
Have you ever seen anybody released from an institution? Really cocky. They walk out and they're Mr. Big. And they think that the world sees them as something special. But the world doesn't see them as something special. The world sees them as somebody with a funny haircut, with funny clothes, with funny tattoos all over their arms. You keep that up long enough, and that'll be your self-identity for life. If you don't want it, walk out with a little humility. I was a stupid, bitter idiot. And then I ran into this. And this guy started teaching me a little bit about life, and what wisdom is, and what people really are, and how they work inside.
Well, I got charged with loitering, and...
Has it ever bothered him that he's been in jail before?
I wouldn't allow it to bother me. There's no point in it. What's done is done. And what I am today is different from what I was yesterday. I'm a different man today.
You know, I sense a restlessness in the group. Maybe we should pack it in, you know. Like I said, I'm not trying to dominate you. I don't want to.
Well, most of us, we need a, like you said, an outlook on life, really, to understand life, because most of us are just going around, going to school. They don't really tell us what the reason we're going to school for, except we need the knowledge. Knowledge for what? Sure, we can go out and steal a car, but they don't tell us why we do it. I've done it because I've liked it, you know, and I don't understand why I do it, so to speak. If it was explained to me before, I might not be here.
So many places that you're told what's wrong, and you end up in court and in here over it, but there's never the answer. They say rehabilitation, but boy, you never have them telling you anything like this, like what's being said today to the real root of it. I have heard guys in here many times talk in the same way you do, you know, who are interested and really want to do something. But when it comes down to the doing...
But I really believe that that's what, you know, I was looking for.
Well, I give lectures on a Friday night at a private home where I could take people if they wanted to come. And if you're interested, my name is Mike Dunlop.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And the unit is there.
You know what the problem is in economics? Production and distribution. Did you know that? For a woman, it's very difficult, you know, to get anywhere.
I should think you should explore the fields like modeling, like personnel work. Something in the line that gives you the feeling of accomplishment.
Well, that's what I'm looking for, right.
Through
And
a behavioral sense where you're going to get a lot of applause for it.
Well, no,
but the reality of it is you're not afraid of a challenge.
Oh, I'm not.
Something that you can be on top of.
Well, yeah, I'd love to be on top of something.
Well, we'll tell you why. Right this moment, for instance. Let's see you stop. Stop.
Stop.
You're still talking, you're still giggling. Stop. Try and bring the pendulum right down the middle. Nobody's around. You don't have to say another word. If you weren't here, nothing would be important. It's pretty difficult, isn't it?
It is, yes, because I'm on side.
And this is your problem.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Then you have to work at it.
I know that too.
All right, let's
But I
try
haven't
it.
been.
Try it now. Come on, right down the middle. You're not even here. You don't have to answer me. This is the practicing you have to learn. This won't take you long because you have a very keen sense of intelligence.
Yeah, but don't you think it's good also to be flippant? I mean, if it's
You see, already you're saying to me, Dave, it might be too difficult.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Say, I have an argument with my roommate or something, that upsets me to no end.
Certainly it upsets you. It's because...
Well, even though it's neither of our faults, say, or if it's her fault, it's really bad because I'm... Yes, that's fine. What do I do about things like that?
You learn what causes it.
Well, I know what causes it. Or I think I do.
Let's take the course and come back, say, in a couple of 6 weeks, and then see if we're communicating on the same line. Let's try about 6 weeks of it, and then see if you catch on to the pendulum.
Okay, now the game of...
Anybody that's sort of in the established way of doing things takes a look at it and say, look, it's nuts. It's a nut thing. It just doesn't fit the way we're doing things now. We're closing our society off to the Galileos, for example, because Galileo was so obviously wrong. We're closing our society off to these grassroots products of some genius and inventiveness.
And because they're not a recognized social agency, the activators cannot count on a substantial income. And Dave has to scrounge every penny he can.
Is this yours? It's practically impossible for me to run the unit alone. God, I have to have some kind of business assistance. What we need is at least, the very least, about $1,000 a month for my salary and his and the unit's needs.
You have about $250 a month now.
I'm getting $250. I wouldn't want less room than I've got.
Yeah.
I want more.
What are you paying in the store?
I don't know what we're paying here. I think it's about $75 a month.
Well, what do you think we should go after Rotary for?
If we can go after just the rent. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, Dave, what about making love, and where does that fit on the pendulum?
Awareness. This comes under sex. And I'm not going to... I'm going to make a very didactic statement. These three things that are so terribly important are the last things you get married for. You do not get married for love. You do not get married for affection, and you don't get married for sex. You get married for communication, and when that breaks down, you're dead.
It's kind of a strange feeling when you're 24 years old to be the mother of 17 kids. The fact that Dave doesn't need a home and finds his home in his work. Because he had been married before and had a family life before, now he had a purpose. The purpose was all-consuming time-wise. And I would like to see the day when we have enough financial security that Dave and I could take off for a weekend with our daughter and the family cat and camping equipment and just go.
Animal crackers in my soup, monkeys and rabbits, loop the loop.
Do you want to drink
She's tired.
a good night song, and then we'll say good night.
Be older by the... Hey, what's wrong? You were a little high, weren't you? Right now you hit the low, didn't you? One of these days you'll learn when I say you're not supposed to get high. You'll calm down, then you won't have to be low. Okay?